Much for joining us this Friday. I'm Zach Lajwe. Schools across the country have been celebrating National School Lunch Week. It's a time to educate students on healthy eating and encourage them to make good choices at lunch. This morning, we want to recognize a local lunch angel. Since 2014, Kenny Thompson has been feeding students in Spring Branch ISD. Today, he continues these efforts through his nonprofit, Feed the Future Forward. Keith Garvin caught up with Thompson about his mission to make sure Houston area students have access to lunch each and every school day.
It's hard to believe it's been a little over 9 years.
It was 2014 when we first met Houston's Kenny Thompson. We had gotten wind of his efforts to help feed students at Valley Oaks Elementary School in Spring Branch ISD. It all started when Thompson was visiting two of the students he mentored when one of them was given an alternative lunch in the cafeteria featuring a cold cheese sandwich because the student's lunch account was in the negative. Thompson, bothered the student had been singled out, took immediate action and paid the student's bill. Then he took another step.
I told the lunch lady at the time, if a student ever gets negative again, let me know. Then I'll buy him lunch.
But Thompson went even further. He ended up paying off the accounts of 459 students in all. After we told his story, his efforts quickly went viral.
Shortly after our story ran first on KPRC2, CNN,
Washington Post. I was on the cover of the New York Times under the fold, but yeah, it was crazy how many people contacted me asking and telling, how did you do it? What can I do to do this in my area? Oh, I've been trying to do this. We have the same thing in our district.
Inspired by the overwhelming appreciation he saw from students and their families, Thompson eventually founded the nonprofit Feed the Future Forward. They find schools in need or are contacted by districts with students who need help.
We get with the nutrition director or the principals and we find out what is the school's negative lunch account, the whole school. We don't want to pay for Mary and not Tommy.
Thompson's 501c3 has advised many groups across the country, but donated funds are directed strictly to Houston area students.
A true 100% nonprofit, homegrown, grassroots, local, little nonprofit, having this kind of impact in our community, and it's been amazing.
His efforts have paid the meal accounts of nearly 500,000 students to the tune of $100,000.
No, not bad at all. And here we are 9 years later, still going strong, still feeding kids.
Back at Valley Oaks Elementary in a new location these days, Thompson is proud of how Spring Branch ISD has stepped up and sought solutions once the lunch issue was exposed back in 2014. Today, no kids are ever at risk of receiving a subpar meal because their lunch account is in the negative.
We know that the success of a student is always going to depend, especially not just in the classroom, but what they're going to eat in the cafeteria on a daily basis.
One thing that maybe no one really realized was that this was not only going to have great impact, but it was going to bring a lot of awareness.
Spring Branch, the leader, in my opinion, who really made other schools wake up and go, oh, well, if they're doing this, we can do that. And if they're going to do that, well, we can do that. And all it did was help the kids.
Thompson's continued goal is to make sure all struggling students have nutritious meals in the cafeteria so they can better focus in the classroom. His ultimate goal may surprise you.
My goal, my future is to be out of business, to close my nonprofit. And when that happens, that means that we figured this out. We're taking care of kids while they're away from mom and dad. And I'd like to thank you guys for, taking the risk on this story. And at the time, you turned my life upside down. I thank you for that now. That I know that together we've had an impact.
Amazing work and amazing guy, that's for sure. Keith Garvin joins us now to talk about his interview with Kenny Thompson. Keith, the work he does means so much to so many, and it's really work that makes a difference in our community.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Kenny Thompson is an amazing man. He's just one example of a Houstonian who simply saw a need and he wanted to get taken care of, and he just took those extra steps from the bottom of his heart to make sure, just the mentees that he had when he saw the what he referred to as lunch shaming going on, where this young man got called out of line and was given a subpar lunch because of his account wasn't, up to up to where it needed to be at that point, and that just really struck a chord with him. And one reason why Kenny also explained it to me is that he growing up was a part of a lunch program as well, and he remembers that stigma of what happened then is the cafeteria person would click a card that you had to show that you had gotten your meal, but you were part of what was considered a subpar program. And that really left a stigma on him and so many of those other kids. And he just didn't want another kid to feel that way. And so he stepped up and he really made a difference, a bigger one than he ever expected.
Yeah, his own experience leading to change for so many people. So often we cover stories and they revolve around children worrying about where their dinner is going to come from. When you go to school, this is not something that should be on your mind. Children particularly who are hungry, they can't dream, they can't thrive, they can't work, they can't study. And so to see this man make this difference, it's truly remarkable.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's been well documented. So many studies that will show that it's really important for a child to have proper nutrition, 3 squares and even some healthy snacks in between to really help them concentrate, to help their brain function at its best level. Our bodies need food and calories and nutrients, and our brains do as well to help us focus and stay awake. And so, again, what he's done is really, really made a huge difference for a lot of children all across the Houston area. And because he's gotten so many calls over the years from people, not just around the country, but around the world, as you heard him say, people say, we call him all the time, still call him all the time and say, hey, Kenny, I saw what you did. We have the same problem in our school district. What are the steps you took? And he has then, also his action here led to so much change in other parts of the country and even other parts of the world.
Other folks wanting to mimic what it is he's doing here. Okay, Keith Garvin, thank you so much for waking up early and joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Great story to tell.